Hello everyone, this is Marianne from Happy Paper People, and I'm so glad that you could join me tonight. I'm also to be found on Etsy and Instagram as Marianne's Craft Design. And of course, my YouTube and Facebook collaborator is Sharon Shields of Texture Muse on Etsy. So if you haven't joined our Happy Paper People family on Facebook, come on over and join the group. You might be amazed at the awesomeness that is there with the members. They're wonderful people. So I was cleaning my desk because I have been making all kinds of things from junk mail, because May is all about junk mail. And so we got to make some all abouts. Hopefully you've seen the video where we did these out of junk mail. Everything, including the flower and the ribbon, are all from junk mail. So get some all abouts going. Can't wait to see the pictures. So I was cleaning up all the bits and pieces on my desk, and you know, there's scraps of stuff everywhere. There's strips, there's little chunks, there's fabric, there's all kinds of stuff all over my desk. So I was cleaning stuff up, and I found these little pieces like this that I had cut. I think this was the front of a paper pad, paper stack that I had purchased. And you know how in the front sometimes they'll have miniature pictures of what the paper inside looks like. And there was several that that's what I think that they came from, and including this one that was a solid purple and the print there. And I picked it up and I went, well, that's just the perfect size for a miniature book. Isn't that cute? It's like 1 3/8 by 1 5/8. So I gathered up some of the scraps and I put together this little book. Love on the front. The inside cover has a flip out, place for journaling, all about butterflies. Got a little pocket there with a tiny little place to journal there. Got some little coffee dyed paper, a stamp here or there. That's actually scrapbook paper that is printed with writing on it. That's part of a sticky note. In fact, it's part of this sticky note right here that was sitting on my desk. Book page, coffee dyed paper. There's a couple of sticky notes that are stuck to that page. We're going to be used for something else. Some music. There's the center where I bound it and put a couple little hearts as dangles on the binding. And then the other side is the other half of all the ones that we just looked at. Oh, there's the pocket. And this one has a little paper to journal on there. And the back of this one has a flip out, and the flip out has a tuck spot. I didn't put anything in that tuck spot, but that would be like this. Isn't that cute? That's just a cute, cute little book. And I have these two right here. They're a little bit smaller, but they'll make even cuter, smaller little journals. So I thought, I'm gonna not gather everything up. I'm gonna turn on the camera and show you how I made that. And so then I just pulled some things together like this that were sitting right here. And this little card was in them, and that is absolutely perfect to be the cover of a book. It's just slightly larger than this one, just barely, but that's a perfect little size, and I thought that that would make a really pretty little cover. So we're going to use that as our cover, and I'm going to show you how we put together this miniature book, mini book. There's lots of ways to put together a mini book, and this is just one of them. So we'll, you know, there will be a playlist on mini books probably. I don't know what else it would go under. And we've got multiples to show you. So there will be a playlist under mini books where you can look at them, and we'll add to them as we go. Okay, so I'm going to use this sticky note. It's still got sticky on the top there. It says, do all things with love. And that's just about the right width. If I put that all the way to the bottom, oh my goodness, it's almost exact height too. We might have to trim off just a hair, literally a hair. Maybe we'll trim that off of the bottom because it's got that little point that's sticking out that kind of wants to get, you know, bent all over the place. Okay, so this still has sticky on the back, so we need to get rid of the sticky on the back. So we're going to pull out this EK Tools thing. I forget what they call it. There's also a little pillow pocket kind of thing that I don't know where it is yet. I'll put it somewhere safe when I reorganize the studio, and I don't remember where it is, but this one works just as well. Basically, it's just powder inside, and when you put powder on the adhesive, it kind of fills in anything that's sticky and just deactivates it, so, you know, not sticky anymore. Just make sure this actually was quite a sticky one. So then, instead of being a sticky note, it just becomes a plain piece of paper. Okay, so we know it's going to be folded in half. Actually, this would make a really great center, a good center page. So then you can see the whole thing, do all things with love. So we know that's going to be folded in half no matter where it is. So let's fold it in half right now. And it's nice and thin like a sticky note, so it's easy to fold in half. So I don't need even to get a scoreboard or anything. Okay, there we are. And now I need to trim just a hair, I know, but I'm going to trim it off this end so I can get those little points off. And I'm going to do it while they're together. Then I have to cut less across. Greater chance of getting a straight cut. What do you think? Here we go. How's that? We put that right down to the bottom. That'll be just about right. Yeah. And if they're kind of cute coming out there, but if they want to get bent, they can always be trimmed off, so that just comes more straight down right there. Okay, so we're going to use that as our center. Let's get that out of the way. And this piece right here, this is specialty deli paper. Kind of like wax paper, but not really. It's kind of like cellophane, but not really. Okay, so we'll want a piece of that. That is about that long too. See how technical this is? How difficult it is to go about that long and cut it. This is a coffee dyed piece of paper. A little bit thicker than that. How about that one? That's okay. Let's do that. Actually, I'm going to tear this one, and I want to get this right along the same line that we already have going. That cut, it just needs to go all the way across. Okay, and then how wide is this card? This card is a little more than 1 3/4 inch. So I like this part right here. It's coffee dyed. It's kind of got some dots on it, polka dots. Came from something that was sitting on it when it was coffee dyed. Okay, so if we line this up on an inch mark, and then we put this down on 1 3/4, we know that our cover is just slightly more than 1 3/4. So if we line that at 1 3/4, we should be just fine. It'll fit inside of it. And yes, this is my clear tear ruler. I really like it. It's big, it fits everything, and it's also a good tear ruler, but it's clear. And a heck of a time when I set it down, I can't find it. So I put a piece of washi tape on it. I got this washi flying around my desk to remind me to use it because it will not stay rolled up. And I saw it and I thought, wow, okay, it's pink and it's glittery. I will see that. So I just popped that on there. Should go down and rub it and make sure it's on really good and tight. Okay, so we got the deli paper. We're not going to use those two. And what's this? Let's see. We know this is a little less than 1 3/4, but how long is it? It's a little more than 1 2 3. So if we make it about 3 by 1 3/4, it should fit just right. So let's do the 3 first. I'm going to line that up on a mark, and then we have 1 2 3. So if we cut it off at 3, as long as it's straight all the way across. And actually, I know we don't need to go all the way across. I can't even see all the way across because it came over to the end. Okay, there we are. We don't have to go all the way across because it's only 1 3/4 wide. So we know that that's 1 3/4 right there. So I'm just going to tear about 2 inches. Give us enough to work with there, 2 or 3 inches. Okay. And then this one, we'll tuck that under there out of our way. And we'll line that up on the mark. And we said that that's just over 1 3/4. So we're going to put it at 1 3/4. And you notice on the prototype that I did that all the pages aren't the exact same width, because some are, you know, already, okay, that should be smaller than it. That's almost, yeah, it is. It's just almost on the verge of being too big. We might have to trim it up a little bit, but we can do that. But like this scrap was already thinner, so that's okay. We're okay with that. They don't all need to be the same height. That gives some texture and dimension. Okay, got a piece of graph paper here. Let's do it right on this line here. I'm going to go all the way across just for ease, and I think, can't pick it up. We can use this right here, and we need to do it about the second green line. Again, a technical measurement, second green line. There we go. That one's good. Okay, so here's a coffee dyed piece of paper. It's off of a notepad. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. Let's see, for size, goodness, I'm having a heck of a time picking that up. That would fit inside. We've already got something as the center, and when we have a quote like that, I like to put that in the center so you can actually read the whole quote together. So I'm not sure that that will work there, although it could work on one of the covers if we wanted to do a flip out on a cover. So that's an idea. So let's tear it off as if that's what we want to do. If I line it up right there, and we want it a little less than 1 3/4. Okay, and we may use that as a, if not, let's get another piece here just in case we decide that that doesn't work there. Just another standard piece. Okay, and this was part of a notepad, and you can see I tore it right there, so I used the rest of it except this one, and that is 1 3/4 by 1 2 3 4. So it's a little long, but it's the perfect width. So let's see if we can get on the line, on the mark there, and well, we should have an inch mark there. Okay, 1 2 3, we know it was just slightly more than 3, so we're going to go slightly less than 3, unless we wanted to put, unless we wanted that to be a flip out in the back. No, I want that to be a page. I like that. Okay, so this one, 1 2 3, let's do that. We know that that's the width. Let's get the width. I have an idea for this one because this is a bigger piece. We'll get some to work with there. And then it's about 1 3/4 that we need for the height, but I want more because I want to do a pocket or a tuck spot, whatever you want to call it. It's a fold up tuck spot pocket. Tuck spot pocket. Okay, that one goes over there, and this one's going to go here, and let's see here. It would be at little less than 1 3/4 would be our fold. So show you the easy way to fold it. Find the mark where you want it folded, and then just push it up right here against your ruler. There you go. and then you can grab it with your fingers and just clean up that line. But that's so easy to do, okay? All right, we've got a book page here. Let's see if we can kind of even it up right here. There we go. Get rid of that, and about 1 3/4. Put us about right there. A little less, slightly less. Okay, and then lengthwise, we'll clean that up just a little bit. We'll clean that up with our scissors. We'll clean that up with our scissors. Maybe our sisters will clean it up. 1 2 3. Okay. Maybe our sisters will get the scissors and clean it up for us. Okay, this one is writing on scrapbook paper. No idea what it's about, but let's get a piece that will fit. Okay. This is actually probably quicker than getting the scissors, and it's a cool look. 1 2 3, so we know just under 3. There we go. Now, even these things can be used for embellishments later. I mean, there's, lots of stuff we can do with those. Okay, and that one. Okay, so we've got this doily. It's kind of cool. It's a gold doily sitting on there. All right, so if we literally put it right to the top, then it is probably almost 1 7/8, but not even quite. So let's do this. Okay, I'm going to line 1 point up on the mark. I'm going to bring this. Now, I've never torn a doily, so this will be interesting. But I know we're not even going to go halfway into it. So that's the reason I'm doing this. It's a good chance to experiment with it, because if it doesn't work, tearing it, I can turn it around and do the other side and just cut it with scissors. And then use the bits and pieces for collaging. Well, that worked just fine. That tore quite easily. Okay, did we get one of everything? We've got this one to decide on. We've got this, and this will be going to be our center. Okay, so we need to fold all these. All right, and fold this one. Okay, looks like I didn't have that lined up straight. Well, not entirely easy to do with a doily because of the swirls, but it's perfect because one end is lined up straight, so I can just trim the other one up. So it'll be like our centerpiece that has a little tail sticking out. It's got some little tails, but that'll be kind of pretty there. Okay, and this is our cover. Keep that aside for a minute. This coffee dyed paper, that's kind of too long. We didn't even cut that off, did we? That needs to be a little less than 3. 1 2 3. Okay, or was that extra? We didn't really need to use it. Okay, and there we go. Oh, I realize there's no writing on the back of that one. Interesting. Good place to stamp. Okay. See, that one still just feels a little bit tall to me. So we're just going to tear this edge, and we can guide by that line, which makes it easier to tear. And we're going to get that nice rough hand torn edge that we can ink up. Don't have to cut it. Okay, so let's get this guy out of the way. Gonna get our ink. I'm gonna ink up whatever we're gonna ink up first. It's a little bit easier that way. So this hand-torn edge is really nice inked. Now this paper is white and gray. I think it came from an old notary book, but this page in particular is not very weathered, is not very aged. So we're just gonna help it along a little bit right there. And because it's a book, we're gonna see both sides. So you wanna make sure that you ink up both sides if you're inking, and you don't have to ink. I happen to really like inking, and maybe next project we got to do something with some different colors of ink. Seems like that, you know, this little mini book should look like it's just aged, just old, which is why I grabbed the vintage photo. But it is fun using some of the other inks and colors, adding some color to things with that inked edge. It's just like a frame. It's just like putting a little makeup on it and frames its face, and it's awfully pretty. Go down the center there, and we can't forget the edge that's folded up. It'll look like a brand new edge right there. Okay, that's better. I'm not going to ink the deli paper. Let's try this guy. So if you've watched any of our other videos here on Happy Paper People, I'd really appreciate it if you give a thumbs up to any that you like, especially this one right now. Just while I'm inking, reach down there, click a little thumbs up and a share. I really appreciate that. That would help us get a little more exposure and let like-minded people know how they can find our community. And if any of these things interest you, we'd love to have you come over to Facebook to the group. It's an amazing group of people. I know I said that, but you know, you just can't say it too much when they truly are amazing. Get to know these people. It's a different kind of group than any other one I've ever been in on Facebook. We support art of all genres, of all mediums. We've got, we call it everybody artists because it's all art and creativity in so many different areas. But we all kind of love pretty paper and doing things with paper. But you can take the ideas from paper and turn them into a quilt and vice versa. We're going to be putting together some pretty cool junk journals. And there's so many different kinds of journals to make. You know, even just different styles. And different styles appeal to different people. So that's the fun thing about journaling is you can all learn techniques and journal, but yet everybody, literally everybody could do a different style, something that pleases them, you know, that they like. They don't have to be the same, and they kind of never will be, even when you start out, you know, with the same. You start out kind of headed in the same direction. They still end up looking different because of everybody's interpretation. That actually is kind of cool. And truly what that means is just that each one is a piece of art. It's the artist's interpretation. And art isn't done until the artist says it's done. So if you're not happy with what you made, then you just keep going on it. Especially with paper. Paper's awesome. Look how this is all tearing up because it's such an old piece of paper. I'm trying to be gentle. But on paper, if you're not, you know, you had this vision in your mind and it just didn't come out exactly the same way you thought it would in your mind, just layer. Just start layering on the paper. That's what paper is awesome for, is just to layer. You know, you can put some gesso down on it and then do anything over the top of it, or you can, you know, put a piece of paper on, or start collaging on top of it, or glue a paper bag over the top of it and embellish the paper bag and fill it up with goodies, you know, with ephemera and stuff. So many ways, but you know, it's not done till you, the artist, say that it's done. And that's where the freedom of art comes in. All right. Whew. Just the inking is a big job. Oh, all right. Gotta do the cover. That one's easier because that one's actually cardstock. It's the only one that is. Okay, now I am going to grab a mini scoreboard and I'm going to give one small score down the center of this cover for our fold line. And not necessary, but I kind of like a clean fold. I mean, not necessarily clean, but I like that my fold is straight. That's, I guess, a better way to say it. So, you know, human eye, never know for sure. So just got this mini scoreboard that's perfect for stuff like this. And there's a mark 3. It's just over 3. So it's only 1 mark over 3. So I can't see because of that line. I'm going to get my head right in front of you. Half of that is 1.5. And then we have 1 score mark to split. So, all right, if I come up here and go 1 to 4, then I'm going to split the difference on that 1 score mark, which should put me right at that last notch. See, again, this is the technical way you do it. So the middle is 1.5, which would be from 1, that's 2.5. This should be our middle right here. Now, you notice that this is the outside of the cover, and that's where I scored on. Don't freak out, because a long time before I ever learned that, before somebody told me, because I had papers that I would score, and then they would you know, tear or crack as I folded them. Here's the thing. You score on the side that you want to fold away from. And typically, people look at that and they go over here because this is the hump from the score, and they'll fold this way. That's not correct. So if I score on this side, that means I'm going to fold on this side. Aw, look at that cute little book. That is going to be so cute. All right, let's get it put together and get it bound. We don't have all night here, people, do we? Okay, so let's see. We know that this is going to be our center, and that's already folded, which is perfect. Everything else needs to be folded. This has a lot of green in it too, so I don't want to put it right next to that, but maybe with something in between it. Something plain, or this book page would be okay. So if we did that, all right, and then this deli paper would go nicely in front of something plain, or like this book page. Okay, now we've got this one, and I'm going to show you how we're going to lock it up later, but I'm going to leave it for right now. And this one, let's see. We want to make that our outside, our very first page. If we're going to put something on here that's going to fold out, we could turn it this way, and so when you open up the front page, there's a tuck spot right there. Or putting it inside a little bit. Let's see, we got a coffee dyed paper here. We've got this notebook paper. What else have we got? We've got our page out of the notary book. And that's our book page. Okay, so we want these two separate. We want the green away from the green. We want this by something print. That's really good next to that. We want this would be in front of that, would be perfect, and in front of the coffee, or behind the coffee dyed would be perfect. Okay. We need something in front of that one, and then plain one. We can put our center right there, do all things with love. What have we got out here? We've got, let's make sure we have that the right direction. The scrapbook paper with the writing. Behind that, let's put our piece of notebook paper. Wow, this is going to be a nice, thick little book. And then let's put our doily. And then let's put our piece of book page. Okay. All right. Wow, that is a thick little book. It's thicker than this one I did. I don't remember how many pages were in this one. I think that's seven pieces of paper. So times 4, 28. So 28 working pages front and back. Okay, that one, some of these might need a little bit of trimming up once we get them in there. but that's okay. We can do that. Oh, there's so many. They're sticking right way out. Let's see if we can even get that in there any farther. Okay, we can. We're still gonna have to trim up the doily, and that's okay. I'll do that right now. I know we're gonna have to trim it farther, but that's okay. At least get it out of our way so we can see what we're doing. All right, I'm not even going to put these in. We'll just do another one because we got plenty of little scraps there, because that's going to be a very full little book. Okay, so on this one, I actually used my crocodile to cut that hole, and that's a pretty large hole, even though it's the small one, for this tiny book. I could have used, and maybe should have used, an awl, and, you know, just drilled a little hole in there, just the right width of hole. But this one is a little bit bigger, and it's a little thicker, and I'm thinking that a crocodile would be great for that. There's two. I want the small one. Here's the small one on this side. Okay, so I think we're going to do the same. We're going to put 2 holes and then just do a kind of a pamphlet stitch. Kind of a pamphlet stitch, but usually a pamphlet stitch we have 3 holes. So I'm going to line that up. Can't see the fold when I get it under the camera, so hopefully we're on the fold. Once I put it over there for you to see, then I can't see where the fold is, so. Or close to the fold. We're either on or close to the fold, right? Okay, other side. Now we just need to make sure that that hole's lined up, because even if they're off, they need to be off together. We can always work with them as long as they're the same, either off together or on together. So we're going to go with that right there. Ooh, got a little farther up than I intended, but that's okay. It'll work. I had a hard time seeing that. I typically would do it just a little farther down, but it's not right on the edge, so it's fine. It won't tear it. Okay, get that out of the way. Now let's get busy and bind it. I grabbed a couple of blue embroidery floss because I thought that'd be really pretty with these. It's kind of like a cornflower blue color. And then this one has multicolors in it. That's really pretty too. And one of them is kind of like that green, teal green in there. So I think we're going to try this one. Don't you love that? Paid 32 cents for that roll. I don't know what they are normally. Normally they're $1.29. So, yeah, not that $1.29 is expensive, but hey, that just leaves another $1 that I can get 3 more of these different colors. Okay, it's a brand new one, so got to get this undone. Probably should have done that before. Come on. Let's get that all in there. So, yeah, if you don't have it all, if your husband's handy at all and has some tools in the garage, odds are he's got it all. You could, you know, run out there and borrow it. If you have a Harbor Freight near you, Harbor Freight is a great place for cheap tools. So some tools I'll buy there and others we won't, because other tools you don't want a cheap tool. So, but you can pick up an awl there. Awls, you know, screwdrivers, things like that. And all I think it was $2.99 at Harbor Freight. I've got a couple of them, and I know one of them at least came from Harbor Freight. So, all right. So let's see here. All right, that's just variegated. It goes from one color to the next. We're not going to need a ton of it, but let's see where we want that color to land. Oh, don't do that. Okay, these holes are big enough that I'm hoping, now they're all out of place. All out of place. See, that all will come in handy for more things than that. It'll help me line them right back up when they all jump out of place. Everybody get back in line. Get back in line where you're supposed to. Okay, these holes are big enough that I think I can probably just stick this right through the hole. So I'm going to stop and think for a moment with, well, this is how I'm going to do it. There's a couple of different ways to bind it, but we're going to do a real simple binding. I'm going to put that through from the inside. I'm going to take the other end and put that one through from the inside, going out. These guys down here are out of line again, making it difficult to get this fat end that's starting to fray through. There it is. Okay, so now I've got them both through that way from the front to the back. See that? They're coming from the front to the back. All right, so if that crosses over there, that gets some of that pretty light. That's the exact same color as those flowers. That's pretty. And this one crosses over there. That will put some of the dark. So we get both colors in there, which is pretty cool. I like them. I like that. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to bring the one that we brought up this side, and we're going to take it down that side. I'm going to trim the end just because the end is fraying, and I'd like it not to fray so I can get it through that hole pretty easily. Okay, I'm going to hold this tight so that it doesn't block the hole as I'm trying to get this back through. Hopefully that'll be pretty easy. Can always stick it in there with the awl if we have to. Come on. Yes, I just licked the end. But it's my embroidery floss, and I've had it for a very long time, long before any virus, so I'm not concerned about. All right, Mr. Awl, come help me get this end through here. We'll do it the easy way. We thought we were doing it the easy way. There we go. Just stick him through them. Okay, and then we're going to come over to this side, and the one that came up there, we're going to put right down here. So we'll do the same thing where we just stick him through. Enough to grab, almost. There we go. Enough to grab and pull him out. Okay. Now, that looks really nice on the outside because we've got both colors. Even if it was two strings of the same color, it's kind of like a double binding out there. And so it looks like it's got some stability and structure. This is a fat little book. Okay, so we come to the inside and going to bring them together and tie. Have to use one finger to hold the book down because you got to keep some tension on it. Okay, and you want to pull them taut, but don't pull so hard that you're tearing the paper. Okay, and then we want to do a square knot. So that was a right over left. This is a left over right. Hopefully you heard a square knot as a kid listening to the Boy Scouts. Right over left, left over right. Okay, there we go. There we go. And there's our simple binding. Isn't that cute? Very cute. Okay, so we can go through here. So we can ink the back of that doily a little bit, and then the front of it is gold. That page is pretty white and glaring, but you know what? We can do some little stamps here. Let's do that. And what are we going to do on our center? What are we going to do on the center? What kind of end papers do we have? Just little things. It's got to be something kind of in the same color that's going to be dangling off. We could cut out a... Not sure. Okay. Looking for any other scraps over here, just tiny pieces. This is the one that I used for that. Not really a great match. Don't know. Okay, and then I didn't bring a punch over. So you bring a punch of anything small. This was just a tiny heart punch. You can do stars or whatever it is, but hearts would go with this one too. And then cut these off, typically at 2 different lengths. So we would do one like right here, and then the other one a little bit longer, okay? And then punch out 4 hearts, put glue on one of them, and set this on it so the end is inside, and then put a second heart on top of it and squish them together. And that's how we get that heart. Then we do the same on this one, put glue on one of them, set the embroidery floss on it, put the other heart on the top of it, and squish it. And then we've got that. So I'm not going to take the time to do those right now. I'm going to get the heart punch, and I'll find just a scrap of something that's, oh, there's a scrap of something right there, but I don't have the heart punch, so I'm going to grab that. Okay, but meanwhile, we can grab some tiny stamps here and just kind of look at this. Oh, we didn't do the center. That's what we were or not center, the front cover. That's kind of what we were thinking of to do with this one, right? So let's do that. We're going to make this a fold out. We actually probably could have put that on. No, but the reason we didn't was because we want to be able to see that whole quote from the Dalai Lama. All right, but we may not want it to be that long. If we are to make a tuck right there, and then if this is the same width, because it's going to fold in, I know it's upside down, I'm just figuring size, and you'll see why. I mean, this is so easy, just to, grab the paper and figure size. You don't have to do measurements and all of this. Okay, so if that folds in, it can only be that wide, because that's where it would fold to the end of the cover, which means the bottom piece can only be to here, right? Because it needs to be, oh, too many scraps. It needs to be glued inside here. So if it was right there, put our tear ruler on it. And we're going to tear that off right there. And look at that, perfect size. And then it's going to fold out so you can see the quote, "If you want to be happy, practice compassion." And then this will be a tuck spot. So we need some glue. We're going to use art glitter glue because it dries really fast and holds paper really well. And we're going to glue this tuck spot down. Remember, we always put the glue on the shortest or smallest of the 2 things we're gluing together. Okay, and then this one's going to go on here. So let's get it on the back of this one. Don't need a whole lot. Actually, don't need much with art glitter glue. It holds so well. So we're just going to run a bead all the way around it. A tiny bit in the center. A little snake there. And slide that in. Oh, come on, get straight. You literally have like 2 seconds, not even, to straighten it out with art glitter glue because it dries that fast. It adheres, and you can't, if you pull it off, you're going to rip the paper off. So there we go. Perfect. That's cool. All right, a little bit of ink over there, and that is good to go. So there's our inside. So let's stamp on the back of this here, or the back of that one right there. How about a key? Get something out here. Let's do a key. Maybe his advice right there is a key to happiness, because it says if you want to be happy. Okay, let's see what else we can do. Let's put something right here. And I'm doing them with, excuse me, with a vintage photo because with the vintage photo, they're still light enough that you can write over the top of them. So you actually could use this for little notes and write right over the top of them. Let's get that clock going the right direction. There we go. Now I have this piece of paper that just kind of sits on my desk, and when I stamp something like that, I know there's a little bit of ink left. I just come over here and I just stamp it out until all that ink is gone. Need to do the key. So I get a couple good impressions and then some light things. But that way I'm not just wiping the ink off and wasting it, because by the time I finish this and ink up the edges, it's kind of a cool piece of paper to use. So that's what that is for. All right, got a little flower over there. How about a little bit of, how about just this little dark one right here? Okay. Okay, get that out of the way. Turning some more pages. We could put one on here. How about a butterfly? Butterflies are always good. Butterflies, birds, bees, they're always good to stamp anywhere. Don't know what I just knocked on the floor, but probably doesn't matter because our book is put together. Okay. And got some pattern there, so we'll leave that. Okay, so we have a pocket here. We need to close up the edge, and that's awfully white, so we're just gonna grunge that up a little bit. But we're gonna go here, and we're gonna put the glue on, remember, the shorter side of the two things that we're adhering together, because we don't want glue coming up here, and then even though we wipe it off, it's still sticky, and then it sticks the pages together. So just always put the glue on the shorter or smaller of the two things that you're adhering together. Do all things with love. We'll get a couple of hearts cut out and put on there. That side's kind of bright. Do that. We could write on that. We'll get some more lines. This is the other side of the pocket, so we're going to need to seal that end. We could make some tiny little tags. Tiny little tags to go in the books. Wouldn't that be cute? Okay, got some pattern there. Other side, let's stamp something right there. How about this flower? Oh, you know what? This says Mon Chéri, so it's French. So let's put this, we've got this little Eiffel Tower and canceled postage from Paris. That would be really cute there. Okay, so let's do that. And then let's stamp it off. Take advantage of that ink, not waste it. We still have that flower on there. Hopefully it's not drying out, because we've got the back of that one. That one, that's the one that needs it. It's a little bright. A little bright. Okay, ooh, that's kind of a cute little flower. All right. Yeah, that's a cute little flower. See, working that into a lot of things. Okay, back of the doily's a little bright. Okay, the book page. And then there's our back page. All right, we were going to take, we had another piece. I covered it, I buried it. I know we had another piece of that notebook, here we go, that we were possibly going to use back here and do the same thing. This one, let's just do a fold, and we'll have a fold out piece of writing paper space. I'm going to go ahead and just cut that, and I could tell that it was just slightly tall. So I'm going to take a little bit off there. There we go. That's better. And I want to make the top, the part that's going to fold out, just a hair smaller than the bottom, so you can see there to open it. All right, so let's get a little bit of glue around here on the bottom. That's kind of a cool pattern for that coffee dye. Somebody else did that. I didn't do that, but I do think it's cool. Get a hold of that paper on the corner, stick it right in there. There we go. Isn't that cute? That isn't a straight cut. I'll pull it out, fix it. Shouldn't matter, but my brain goes straight cut, straight cut. All right. There we go. And there is our cute little tiny, we gotta get those hearts on, little tiny journal, junk journal. And see if this is long enough to tie it up with. It's not. We can do another one. We could take, let me see. I've got a little piece of, I think I do have a scrap here. Got some scraps of sari silk. Here we go. Let's try that one. A little scrap of sari silk. Let's see if we can tie that up. Right on the end. It's so tiny, you almost need somebody to hold it. Oh, I didn't do a very good job of tying that, did I? Oh, that's funny. That's funny, honey. Okay, I'll tie it more in the middle, and then I'll cut off whatever's extra. But yeah, tie it up with a little piece of sari silk. We'll have a couple of hearts. They'll come out the same direction. And there we go. There's our mini journal. And where's our prototype? It got lost. It got buried. Here's our prototype, our little purple guy. We could do, you know what? We could do the same. We could put a word on the front, maybe up here, because these flowers are nice. We want to keep those. So anyway, that's that. But I figure you're probably like me, and you probably got scraps all over your desk. So grab up all the scraps, just do this, bring them all together, and start building you a little book. And instead of just throwing them away, you could end up with several little books, and you can give them to somebody. They're cute stocking stuffers, or to stick inside of with a birthday card or something. Or I like putting them in pockets in my junk journals, so it's kind of a little surprise journal that somebody gets when they get the journal. So thanks for joining me tonight. To watch this, and I can't wait to see yours. Be sure to come to Happy Paper People in Facebook so that you can post yours there, because we do want to see the ones that you're making just like these. Bye-bye.